We'll find out it is getting warmer. Almost surfing weather. President Trump hands in ultimate. Trey Yingst just spoke with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu just moments ago, and he joins us from southern Israel. Good morning.
Yeah, hey guys, we left the southern city of Arad. 100 were injured in the impact. The Prime Minister arriving at the scene to see the aftermath of this destruction. Here's what it looked like earlier today in Arad. You can see here the impact crater that slammed into the southern city of Arad overnight, wounding more than 100 people. The buildings here reduced to rubble as this explosion rocked the city of more than 25,000 people. All of this taking place as the Israelis work to shoot down more incoming Iranian ballistic missiles.
Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was there on the scene, walking through the debris and meeting with people who survived this missile attack. He spoke exclusively with America First Watch about the situation. I asked him about Trump's post relating to the Strait of Hormuz and the ballistic missile threat amid this war. Attack a listen. Overnight, President Trump said that if in 48 hours the Iranians don't open the Strait of Hormuz, there will be strikes against the power grids in Iran. Will you participate in those strikes, and what do you think should happen next in this campaign?
I think President Trump knows exactly what he's doing, and whatever we do together, and as far as possible in confidence.
The Prime Minister spoke about the escalation committed by the Iranian regime over the weekend, with ballistic missiles raining down on the old city of Jerusalem. We showed you a significant escalation that may have led to Israelis going after some of the storage sites of Iran's ballistic missile program. Some of that video here, you can see the explosions taking place over the weekend in Iran, but it was the strikes on the Diago base. This is a base that is around 4,000 kilometers, more than 2,000 miles away from Iranian territory, and according to reports, 2 Iranian ballistic missiles were launched toward the US-UK base in the Indian Ocean. One of them fell short. One was intercepted by a U.S. warship, an escalation and indication that Iran has the ability to even target European cities like Berlin or potentially even Paris.
To that point, because obviously Iran, as you've been reporting, has the capacity to still strike at the time and place of their choosing now with this escalation, with these intermediate-range ballistic missiles, with those European cities, Munich, Rome, Oslo, London, possibly within the strike radius. Do we know anything about European cities and countries' ability to have missile interceptors like the US and Israel have to stop these?
It is a great question, and many countries do not have the same advanced air defense systems that the Israelis have. Even with the Iron Dome, Arrow 2 and 3 systems, and THAAD system, they're hitting the civilian population here, and it raises real questions about Europe's preparations for possible incoming missile fire. That is why during the interview with Israel, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, he called on countries to get directly involved in this conflict and bring the fight to the Iranian regime, understanding that over the weekend they displayed a significant expanded ballistic missile threat against the world.
What do we know about the capability and precision of those missiles that have now been launched into the Indian Ocean?
So these advanced ballistic missiles, these are medium-range missiles. They are very precise, and Iranians have shown over the past several days they can respond when and where they choose. Entering into week 4 of epic fury, this is a fight between the United States and Israel and a war that is unfolding, a war they were preparing for. So they have not only these precision-guided munitions, ballistic missiles, they also have cluster munitions they're putting on top of ballistic missiles. And we saw earlier today, as we were reporting in Arad, reports from Tel Aviv, Israel's second-largest city, of cluster munitions raining down. And this missile fire continued early this morning. Alarms for Israeli people on their phones to get into bomb shelters. Minutes later, another alarm. So this is an ongoing situation for the Israeli people. And according to sources we spoke with, a senior military official told Fox News late last week they expect this incoming missile fire to continue for at least a few weeks.
So we see this coordination, this partnership between the United States and Israel. Talk to me about the Gulf states. Because one of the things that's interesting is that this has exposed many of their vulnerabilities. If a desalination plant is taken out, that's a problem. Oil fields. Many of these are single economy countries. When those get hit, that's a big problem. So how much are they coordinating with the United States and Israel? And how much of the impact they're taking is influencing military decisions?
Yeah, so quickly. 3 things: defense, offense, and relationships. On defense, these countries do have air defense systems. They can shoot down some incoming ballistic missiles and drones. The issue is these attacks have been continuous for 3 weeks, and they're not just targeting military positions, they're targeting energy infrastructure, like Qatar, the world's largest producer of liquefied natural gas. So they have some defensive capability, but it's not perfect, especially given the volume of attacks. On offense, you have President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu calling for more countries to take offensive action against Iran. And on relationships, Trump has managed to get Gulf countries working together in a way previous presidents couldn't. They now see a common enemy, the Iranian regime. When I spoke to President Trump last week, he said he was most surprised that Iran was targeting countries that were not taking action against it, because that risks drawing in a broader regional coalition. So from a strategic perspective, it doesn't make sense, but they're doing it anyway. And that speaks to how unpredictable the Iranian regime is and what they're willing to target, including critical energy infrastructure that impacts the entire world.